Hello, everybody. How are you today? I hope that this finds you well and that you are all looking after yourself. It is definitely strange times that we are in, and so I am joining you for a cuppa and chat. Nice cup of tea here. And as we go forward in this series, I'm just going to be talking about different things that you might actually kind of have. Um, that you might actually want to discuss as well. I think that actually will be, just let me know with some questions or anything that as you go forward. But I actually wanted to talk about what are the books that you're reading, because right now there is so much that's going on in the world. There's so many news reports and, Facebook posts and all the rest kind of thing. And so we can kind of get crowded in with so much else that, may not always be serving us. Because at the end of the day, there are only certain things that we can actually impact. Now, I know everybody might, not agree with that, but I really do believe in, focusing on what it is that you can control. And so one of the things that I know that I can control is actually what's going into my head. What kind of things am I feeding into my head? I think that that's so, so important. So I make sure that I'm looking at the things that the books that I'm reading, the podcasts that I'm listening to, the videos that I am watching, for example. And that doesn't mean that I've got my head buried in the sand. I am, of course, making sure that I'm staying up to date with whatever is important to stay up to date with. But what I have learned over time, it's one of the reasons why, even prior to this, I've never really been somebody who watched a lot of the news, etc. Because if I need to find something out, I can pretty much do that quickly with a Google or whatever. And so I know that there's very little that is going to kind of go by without me hearing about it from somebody. So I think the rest of the time, my responsibility is to make sure then that I am feeding my heart, my soul, my head with stuff that's actually going to serve me. So I thought what I would do is over the coming weeks and months is continue to be able to maybe add some value to you guys from some of the different books that I am reading. And one of the other things that I'm doing at the moment is I'm studying under the amazing John Maxwell, somebody who I have wanted to study under for a long time. And I've taken this opportunity as a sign that, you know what, now is a really, really good time. I'm staying put longer than I have done in a long time. So I have that time that I would normally be spending on airplanes and in airports, et cetera, that I've actually kind of claimed back. And so for me, I've made a commitment to myself to grow through this time rather than just go through it. I want to get to the other side, having, I suppose, grown as a person, as a leader, as a mum, as a wife, as a business partner, and that. And so that's the things that I'm doing. So the first book that I actually wanted to focus on, and it's kind of two books actually, really. A beautiful friend of mine, Grace, actually gave a few of us. We've got a group that gets together. We're kind of we call ourselves God Chicks. We get together generally about once a month, and we just catch up on what is happening in each of our lives and business, etc., and take some opportunity to actually pray for one another. But we also love to be able to share resources. So at Christmas, Grace gifted us all with a beautiful book called The Traveler's Gift. Now, if you've not read this book, I would really encourage you to. It's such a simple read, and it's actually told in a story. Okay, so there's some amazing wisdom, but it's actually told in a little bit of a story. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to follow the journey of the hero in there, who doesn't start off as a hero, but does end up as one. Spoiler alert, and that. But it is really some great tools. And then the follow up to that, which basically, I suppose, brings the 7 decisions that the hero needs to make and learns about as he goes on in this book together. So I'm going to leave this one for you to actually get and to read. So it's The Traveler's Gift. It's by Andy Andrews, and I believe it's been around for quite a long time. This was my first time coming across it, and I really did love it. So I'm going to encourage you to get that. But what I'm going to do is pick out the lessons from that Andy then brings together in the 7 decisions. So I'm going to touch on the 7 decisions over the next week or so. So that we can kind of take some time to, I suppose, bring it together and look at how it might apply in our lives. So let's start off with the first decision. Well, decision 1 is called the responsible decision. The buck stops here. If decisions are choices and our thinking dictates our decisions, then we are where we are because of our thinking. The responsible decision for personal success is a key. It represents the beginning. Take responsibility for your past will segue into an extraordinary future of your choosing. Now, Andy actually goes through with each of the lessons and he just talks a little bit in detail about that. So I'm actually going to read these next couple of pages and then talk about it. I'm not going to be reading the whole book to you, but I am going to read certain parts that he has blocked out that I think are really important to be able to get, I suppose, a little bit about the concept behind it. Now, particularly love this one. For those of you who have ever heard me talk or speak, I often talk about the responsibility game that I learned when I was studying under the amazing Jack Canfield. I love all the old teachers, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn. All of those guys have just got so much wisdom that they bring to the table. And so the responsibility game was one of the things that I absolutely do love and have done my best every day as a school day to live by. So playing above the line, taking responsibility rather than dropping below the line into blame, shame, and justify. Well, that's a little bit like what Andy talks about here in the book. So if we talk about the book stops here, from this moment forward, and this is about the commitment you want to make to yourself. From this moment forward, I will accept responsibility for my past. I understand that the beginning of wisdom is to accept the responsibility for my own problems, and that by accepting responsibility for my past, I free myself to move into a bigger, brighter future of my choosing. I'm going to stop there for a second. In some of the conversations that I've been having, there's been some of us that have taken time at the moment to actually kind of really knock ourselves down, knock ourselves about, thinking that, we were not prepared for this time. We weren't prepared. Maybe some people have been talking about they haven't been prepared financially, they haven't been prepared mentally, and that for a time like this. And suppose I think what I'm reading into this here and what I would say to each of you is recognizing that maybe things are not the way they should be, or you're not as prepared as you should be, is fantastic. And why? Because it gives you an opportunity to actually be able to go, I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow through this, so that if and when we go through a different crisis at 55 years of age, I can tell you I've seen many different crises, none like this, but many different ones. And so you will see more in your life, but will you be prepared the next time? So if you take responsibility now, you can look forward to a bigger, brighter future. Never again will I blame my parents, spouse, boss, or employees for my present situation. Neither my education nor lack of one, my genetics, or the circumstantial ebb and flow of everyday life will affect my future in a negative way. If I allow myself to blame those uncontrollable forces for my lack of success, I will be forever caught up in a web of the past. I will look forward. I will not let my history control my destiny. And I love that line because that was the line that was particularly used in book one. I will not let my history control my destiny. Whatever is the past is the past. Everything that has happened in the past has happened for a reason, good, bad, and indifferent, because it has made you the person that you are today. Recognizing that and learning from it helps you to step into the future. And I continue. The book stops here. I accept responsibility for my past. I am responsible for my success. I am where I am today, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because of the decisions I have made. My decisions have always been governed by my thinking. Therefore, I am where I am today, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, because of how I think. Today, I will begin the process of changing where I am, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, by changing the way I think. My thoughts will be constructive, never destructive. My mind will live in the solutions of the future. It will not dwell in the problems of the past. I will seek the association of those who are working and striving to bring about positive change in the world. I will never seek comfort by associating with those who've decided to be comfortable. When faced with the opportunity to make a decision, I will make one. I understand that God did not put in me the ability to always make the right decisions. He did, however, put in me the ability to make a decision and then make it right. The rise and fall of my emotional tide will not deter me from my course. When I make a decision, I will stand behind it. My energy will go into making the decision. I will waste none on second thoughts. My life will not be an apology, it will be a statement. I love that. That's very powerful. My life will not be an apology, it will be a statement. How cool is that? The book stops here. I control my thoughts. I control my emotions. In the future, when I am tempted to ask the question, why me? I will immediately counter with the answer, why not me? Challenges are gifts, an opportunity to learn. Problems are the common thread running through the lives of great men and women. In times of adversity, which we could probably classify right now, I will not have a problem to deal with. I will have a choice to make. My thoughts will be clear. I will make the right choice. Adversity is preparation for greatness. I will accept the preparation. Why me? Why not me? I will be prepared for something great. I accept responsibility for my past. I control my thoughts. I control my emotions. I am responsible for my success. The buck stops here. I will not let my history control my destiny. How cool is that? I hope that you actually got something out of there. And of course, there's lots more that's in that chapter. I'm not going to be, as I said, I'm not going to be reading the whole book for us. I'm going to be looking though at some of the thought starters. So let's think about what that lesson is today. It's about taking responsibility for where you are first and foremost. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And I think the first thing that we need to do is do a little bit of an audit around that. I was on a great webinar today with Keith Abraham, who spoke for our Juice Plus community. And I love that because, again, he even just looked at this next 30 days. What might that look like? I ask you the same question. If you're to think about, right, the book stops here, okay, my history does not control my destiny. Okay, it is what it is. It has gotten me to here. But what are the lessons? As we go through this particular challenge, this particular season in our lives, right now, if you're watching this later on, this is 2020. It's April and we are dealing with COVID-19. And so there will be, as I said, other challenges. So if it's not COVID-19 that you're dealing with, there will probably be other challenges that are going on in your life. But right now, if you were to take stock, what are those challenges, or what has that journey actually taught you? What is it that's not right at the moment that you kind of think, you know what, now is the time for me to draw a line in the sand. Now is the time for me to actually look at what could I do differently? How can I grow through this time rather than just go through it? How can I become a bigger, better, stronger person? And that's, again, emotionally, financially, spiritually, and physically. So there are so many opportunities for us to be able to make choices. We can sit back and just observe all of this going on and get through to the other side and kind of go, oh, what happened? That was over. Okay. Or we can actually choose to step into this now and go, alrighty, what is it that I actually want to be? How is it I want to show up in that? What is it that when I get to the other side of this, how is it that I want to be seen at that point in time? How do I want to be for my family, for my children, for the people that I impact? How is it that I want to be seen? How do I want to see myself? So I would ask you to take some time, just think about, okay, your history does not control your destiny. You have an opportunity to write a new story from today. You have an opportunity to be able to learn the lessons and go, yep, alrighty, I will be more prepared financially, or I will be more prepared emotionally for the next lot of challenges and the next opportunities. And in amongst challenges and in amongst times like this, there are so many opportunities. Don't snooze now and miss them. There's great opportunity for growth. There is great opportunity for, you know what, making new choices, making new decisions, deciding to start a business, deciding to, you know what, do some study or change direction in your career. There are so many choices now. Don't miss it. Let's step in and go, you know what, whatever has happened in the past, I am so grateful for, because it's made me the person I am today. And now I want to even fuel that further into making me the person I want to be tomorrow. Take care. God bless. I hope that you have enjoyed this time with me today. And I'll come back over the next couple of days for another cuppa and chat. And we'll go on to what is the next decision that Andy actually speaks about in his book. Take care. Thank you all and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.